and I may say certain things that the average person may not want to say. I feel sufficiently empowered to say so. So when I said, for example, that I didn't feel that George Walter's contribution rose to the level of national hero, that's how I felt about it. And not because I want to disrespect him. In fact, every year I go to his tomb and I lay a wreath. I mean, I've never missed a year so far. I mean, full respect for the man and the fact that he is. But I didn't think that, his contribution rose to that level. Before they actually made him a national hero, I objected. But the process was such that the then Prime Minister and the Governor General, they had the power. So they didn't have to consult with nobody. And the reason why I want this issue ventilated is to make sure we can have a proper system in place in which we can select our national heroes going forward based on a national consensus, not based on partisan consideration. Otherwise, everybody going to be a national hero. You'll find, for example, that everybody who served as Prime Minister could become national hero. When you look at, for example, what happened in the case of Sir George, because severe, where there was national consensus that it was agreed to make him a national hero. When the UPP got in the government, as far as they're concerned, they were a national hero too. So they made Sir George a national hero. And now that we made Sir Lester a national hero, and deservingly so, the next thing they would want to do, if we don't put proper systems in place, they're going to want to make Baldwin Spencer a national hero too. And then they will argue that, Baldwin Spencer would have served for 2 terms. George Walter only served for 1. They would have said that, Baldwin Spencer, and let me call him honorable as a former prime minister, they would have said Honorable Baldwin Spencer served in the trade union movement for a longer period than Sir George, and therefore he's more deserving. Just to get 2, so that they have 2 national heroes and Labour Party has 2. That is what will happen if we don't ventilate these issues from now. And those who think that, Sir George was so successful in his 1 term between 71 and 76, because they're the ones who were trying to rewrite history. If you're so successful, why did the people of Antigua and Barbuda, election after election, for 28 years, 7 terms, why did they vote for Labour? In fact, it was a form of protestation against the UPP in which they say, never again. So don't come and try and fool the people now and tell the people how, he was so successful in his 1 term, how he built all the schools and so on. I know nothing goes so. Talk about George built most of the secondary schools. That's not true, But
can I say
again,
something before I go?
Sorry?
Yeah, he
Can I
wants to
say
say
something before I go? Because I don't want to interrupt your show much further.
You go ahead, Johnny.
Pierre, when you revisiting the criteria for national hero, please don't make it too high. Otherwise, Colin and I will never qualify. So don't make it too high.
you like to put meetings.
Like Lamin and I and Colin a chance. But Minister, I have to leave. I'm sorry, but
this is Antigua breaking news.
With your permission, may I leave?
Right. Okay, Tony.
No, Tony.
We thank you so much.
For the elucidation.
Yes.
But again, going back to this issue of orders, I can understand.
Okay, Tony, take care. Goodbye. Yeah, so Tony has left us. Go ahead, Prime Minister.
Yes. Thank you, Tony. We have had some people who barely make it, who would have ended up as knights and so on. Okay, I can deal with that. But when it comes to national hero, brother man, we have to make sure that we set the bar real high. Yes. Otherwise, you're going to level down the society. We want to be a society of high achievers, and you can't set the bar too low. And they have a propensity, of criticizing those who serve on the Labour Party, who serve for 30, 40 years, and say they're not deserving. But on the other hand, they're people who serve for a minuscule amount of time, they're deserving. And let me give you a case in point. You would have heard in recent times of some of them trying to second guess the knighting of Sir Malwyn, who is now approaching 40 years service. Most of it as a minister of government. Then you're also looking at Sir Robin, who by next term will be completing his 50th unbroken year as a parliamentarian. That's probably a global
achievement
record. Now, but here it is now. They're critical of those two, notwithstanding the years, the decades that they would have served slaves for the people of Antigua and Barbuda. And here it is, in 2013. UPP made Selwyn Walter a knight who served for 3 years, if that many, as a minister. Because George Walter fired him somewhere in 1973. So a man served a half a term as a minister, 1 term in Parliament, And he,
This is Antigua
based
breaking news.
on, or let's say through the lens of Harold Lovell and Spencer and so on in the UPP, he was deserving of a knighthood. And then I'm going to get involved in the controversial issues that he was involved in. Because when it comes to conduct, he can't stand in the shoes of Sir Malwin and Sir Robin. He got a knighthood in this country for serving half of a term.
This is
maybe
Antigua
3 years
breaking
maximum.
news.
And people who slaving for this country for 40 and 50 years, they're saying that they're undeserving. So John St. Louis, for example, serving the Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda for 33 years, 28 unbroken as a Minister of Government, 18 years as Minister of Finance. And they're trying to say he's not deserving of a building, a financial center, be named in his honor. Now, if they want to be celebrated, they must get decent people, sensible people, competent people who can hold on to government for some while and to make important, impactful contributions.
This is Antigua breaking news.